So you may have seen this weekend there was an announcement regarding Olympique Lyon in France, one of the biggest clubs in France, a club that has won, 7 titles on the bounce in the 2000s, before PSG came around with their many billions from the Qatari state. Lyon were one of the biggest forces in French football. Obviously, they've not been as successful in recent times, last season in particular. At the start of the season, they were looking like they could be relegated to Ligue, the second tier of French football. Now, unfortunately, this season it was announced that they may well get relegated to Ligue, and that is not because of their performance in the league. They're up in 5th place, I think, something like that, having a good season relatively, especially compared to last season. It shows real progress on their part, but unfortunately they have been handed a provisional relegation to Ligue 2 for next season. Now, you might be wondering why. Why is this? Well, it's basically down to financial troubles, financial mismanagement. The club posted losses and have a financial debt of over €500 million, not €500,000, €500 million, €505 million in debt they are currently in, which is a massive amount. Now, for those that don't know, French football and its financial authorities, specifically in this case the DNCG, the National Directorate of Management Control over in France, those guys are very strict when it comes to the financial control they have over French clubs. And this is for all of them. They all have to basically prove they've got a financial plan, a business plan effectively, to show that, look, we are financially stable, this is how much we're going to spend, this is how much our losses are going to be, we will make this much profit. And they have to do that all the time for the French authorities. Now, to put that in perspective, in England, you only have to do that kind of thing if you are in administration, if you are in big financial troubles. You have to do something like that. Because unfortunately, that does happen in England. Clubs do go into a lot of financial problems, and France have a lot tighter grip basically on that sort of thing, and they don't allow for it to happen. And it's just a preemptive, effectively. It's to try and stop clubs going into administration, which is what they've done with this, because they've looked at it and just said, look, Lyon, you guys are in trouble. This amount of money is a lot, and we're going to provisionally relegate you as punishment for your financial misconduct, effectively. And on top of that as well, you've also got to factor in the fact that they now have a transfer ban for January. They can't bring any new signings in. And effectively as well, reportedly, the entire Lyon squad is up for sale in January, just to raise funds to try and survive. And this is a club with some big players, in fairness. I mean, they've got Wilfried Zaha, albeit on loan from Galatasaray, so they can't actually sell him. Alexandre Lacazette is doing incredibly well over there. Saïd Benrahma. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is there as well, so a guy that used to play for Arsenal back in the day, if you remember him. Nemanja Matic is there. There's some big names in here, Maxence Kakare. There's some big players, and Tolisso as well, and not forget about him. There's some really big players there, so they definitely can raise some funds by selling the players. But then it's like, what is it going to be like? What's the squad actually going to be like for the second half of the season, And it's not looking great. It's not looking great with that. If you're wondering about the owners of the club, it is John Textor, who also owns shares in Crystal Palace, although I don't believe he's not the main owner. I think he's a owner, but not the biggest owner. And he also owns the Brazilian club Botafogo as well. And Botafogo have been a real crazy case in recent times, even by Brazilian standards. They were miles clear in the league not too long ago, the Serie A over in Brazil, and then ended up bottling it magnificently with something that's even Spurs fans are being embarrassed about. So yeah, it's not looking great for Lyon. The long and short of it is, guys, basically, is that they're in a lot of debt. To preempt any kind of administration coming in, the DNCG in France have put them under a transfer embargo, and they've made clear that if you don't improve your financial situation by the end of this season, then you are going to be relegated to Ligue 2, the second tier, for next season. So watch this space. We will bring you any kind of news and updates about this, as it comes. But just one more thing to mention as well. Another big reason for this, and Lyon will not be the only one. There will be more. I mean, look at what happened to Bordeaux. They're in the 4th tier of French football now. It's not all to do, but a big reason behind it is because of the TV deal in France, which was an absolute disaster. They ended up actually accepting the deal in the end for less money than what they were on before. The deal that they had in their pocket, I can't remember why exactly it soured and it didn't happen, but they were Some really, really big mistakes put in there. And eventually the deal did come through. They did get one, but it was nowhere near as much as what they were hoping. So a lot of clubs in France, because of that, they all budgeted for that bigger TV deal, but the bigger TV deal didn't come. It was actually smaller. So it's a real problem now in French football. This is the tip of the iceberg, as they say. Well, Bordeaux was the tip. This is the first, well, the second domino to fall, as it were. There will be more. There will be more. Mark my words, there will be more. And I really hate to say it, but French football right now, unfortunately, is in a bit of a crisis. There is no other way of putting it, and Lyon are in a crisis right now. So yeah, for much more news on the world of football, hopefully a bit more uplifting than this, do keep it tuned here to thefootballchronicle.com. And yeah, we'll see you soon for some more football content here on the channel, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, ring the bell as well, and we'll see you very soon, guys. Have a good one.